everybody, this is Jermyn, aka The Terrible Aussie, and welcome back to another episode, which is episode 6 of Spin the Wheel Q&A. And with me, as always, is my lovely co-host over at all the many podcasts over at supermarcey.com. Super Marcey. Hello, Marcey. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well, Bede. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, thanks. Just enjoying my day off and looking forward to doing another episode of Spin the Wheel today.
Yes, I'm very, very excited to spin the wheel. And of course, if people haven't checked this show out before, which is on the Super Network YouTube channel, so please subscribe because you'll get all our awesome videos. We have a wheel spin app, and we've put a bunch of random questions on there, and we'll spin the wheel and answer the random question without any preparation whatsoever.
Exactly, and that's what's fun about these, because we don't know what the question's going to be, and we have to pretty much answer all of our questions up on the spot. So
yes, yes, we do. So, Bede,
I am ready. I am ready, Marcy. So let's do this.
Let's spin the wheel. And what's it going to be today? And we've on favorite TV villain.
Oh. That's a good one.
That's an intriguing one.
But, Marcy, who is your favorite TV villain?
Oh, well, there's probably so many that I could talk about, but there's maybe two in particular I want to highlight today in answering this question. So first, I'm going to go with John Lithgow's Arthur in season 4 of Dexter.
Oh, that's a good one.
So my early memories of like John Lithgow was probably from like Third Rock from the Sun.
Yep.
Type of stuff. And when I started to see him in like more villainous roles, or actually pay attention that it was him, I was like, holy shit, this guy's awesome as playing like the villain role. And I think it was Ricochet with Denzel Washington and like Cliffhanger. Like, he's really such a good villain in that. And then when he was in Dexter, which I was watching, like, at the time as they were coming out, the episodes, you know, I was like, whoa, shit, okay, we're getting John Lithgow. This is going to be exciting. And I just thought, like, for me, this is when the show just could not live up to season 4. After that, it was such a perfect season. So many amazing things happened. But his villain was so kind of unsuspecting and so different. It was one of my favorite probably performances on TV, like not just at the time, but I think ever. And he was, I think, probably Dexter's like best foe. I think he just did such a good job. He's so chilling, especially with how season 4 ends and what happens. Like, holy shit, I did not see that coming, and it's definitely like resonated and stayed with me ever since. B, did you ever watch John Lithgow on Dexter?
I did. Well, I used to watch Dexter all the time when it was coming out, just like you. But I only went as far as season 4, because around that time when season 4 came out, I think it might have been 2010, 2011. A bunch of stuff in my life where I was busy with a bunch of stuff in my life, because I was doing setting up for, I was working and I was preparing for my performance in Chicago that year, and also moving down to Melbourne. So I had a lot on my plate at the time. So I never got past. So I watched all the way up to all the way through season 4, but I never went beyond that because I was just so busy to kind of sit. And I used to watch all the shows like that were on, but I had to like drop off a lot of them because I was just too busy. And I never really got back to Dexter after that, which is, well, I suppose for a lot of people, from what I hear, the show pretty much went down in quality after the 4th season. So, but I do remember that 4th season being probably the best season for the show. And I would also say one of the key factors for that was, of course, John Lithgow, because his villain was so evil, but at the same time, they brought a lot of layers to him that made him much more interesting and complex as a character. So
for sure.
you could definitely tell, like, even though, he couldn't stop his serial killing urges, but you could tell, like Dexter, he also wanted some kind of normalcy in his life. But of course, his killer side of him would always win out in the end. And of course, where it goes in the last few episodes, you wouldn't think a show like that would go there, but it does, and it just leaves such an impact on you on you as a viewer, and it just completely gut punches you as well.
I think it's just one of the most excellent and villainous, performances because he's such an unsuspecting type of villain. And my second kind of pick that I thought I'd bring up is very much the villain. It makes sense. Like, they're not really the hero as much as they might think they are. So
Ooh.
I have actually decided to pick Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal Lecter from Hannibal the TV show.
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, I actually loved this show, and I think the way they kind of dealt with Hannibal as a character, because this is like Hannibal as a main focus. The show is called Hannibal, and the way that it's like the earlier life and how he fits in, and he's very much like so unsuspecting, but at the same time he plays it so unsettling that he gets under your skin, and when shit hits the fan, it really fucking hits the fan. I just think it's so amazing. It's so brilliant. It's maybe one of my favorite things to do with Hannibal Lecter, and I absolutely love the performance, everything he did. Like, there's so many layers to that character and things that I don't think had been really previously explored, and I just thought it really was such a good, to bring together all these aspects of this character into the show. And for me, it just worked so damn well. And he was the perfect choice to play a younger Hannibal. Like, he's got so much charisma, and, he just knows how to play, like, I'm a bit of an asshole, just right there under the surface. What are your thoughts if you did watch some of Hannibal?
Well, I've so far watched 2 seasons, and I watched the first episode of season 3. Again, I used to be a really great TV watcher. I would sit there and watch shows and all that all the time, but it's just really in the past 10 years, like, it takes a lot for me to kind of sit down and watch a show now these days. Like, I think it's because now we're in that sort of binge watching kind of culture.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to watch all this show in the one go and not watch anything else. I know some people can actually watch multiple shows, like binge watch multiple shows at the same time. But I'm one of those people, like, if I do, I got to focus on that one show, and then I'll move on to something else. That's why there are a lot of great shows over the last few years, even ones I've been watching as well, that I haven't even got around to finishing yet, because it's just sort of like going through all of them and trying to watch, movies, living, and work and life in general. So that's why I kind of love with Mandalorian and the Marvel TV shows that are on Disney Plus, because they release them week after week. I can keep up with all those shows and have time for them. So that's why Hannibal is one I definitely want to finish, because now that I'm in the 3rd season, and there's only they were 13 episode seasons, so I want to finish it for sure, and I will definitely do that this year. But outside of that, though, I agree. Mads Mikkelsen was fantastic on the show. It's a very different portrayal, of Hannibal compared to Anthony Hopkins' take on the character in the films. But that's what I like about it, because they're both different performances, and you can both love them in different ways. But I do like sort of Mads Mikkelsen takes a much more sort of very subtle approach to the character. And even though from the very beginning we know who Hannibal is, the characters outside of in that world do not know that he's also a killer as well. So, and it's interesting to kind of see how Hannibal kind of traces his tracks and making sure that nobody finds out who he is. And even sometimes he'll even kill someone and pin that person's death or murder or disappearance on a different serial killer. And he's very intelligent. And also, it's like the sort of the chemistry between him and Will Graham, played by Hugh Dancy, but it also to a point of it's very pretty much almost homoerotic chemistry as well. So that adds a lot of interesting layers to the film as well, and particularly his chemistry with like Gillian Anderson as well. So Like he's a great character, and Mads Mikkelsen. Like when this show was announced, I was like, who are they going to get as Hannibal? Like, I mean, Anthony Hopkins did such a great job with that role, and there've been other actors who played the character, like Brian Cox and I keep forgetting this actor's name, Gabriel Udiel. I probably butchered his last name, forgive me. Who played him in Hannibal Rising? I mean, I don't think they really. To me, those performances, whether you like them or not, didn't feel as memorable as Hopkins did it. But I think once Mads Mikkelsen was cast, that made me excited to see what he was going to do for this role. And for me, he just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. But yeah, they're the two that, I thought I'll highlight these ones. So what about you? Have you thought of any that you want to talk about?
I do. I've got at least two.
Okay.
One of the ones is one of my favorite shows is Game of Thrones. Some people have issues with the last season, but screw it. I enjoyed that season despite being a bit rushed.
Yeah.
But but that series had a lot of great villains.
Yeah.
Like so many great villains. But the one I want to talk about, who I thought was great, and it was a character I just loved to hate, was the character of Ramsay Snow, played by Ewan Rion. I probably butchered his name, so forgive me. Now, Ramsay Snow was one of those villains who he started off as a minor character in the beginning, but as the series kind of progressed, he became a much bigger threat, to the point where he became pretty much like the main villain of season 6. So that's what I really liked about his character, is that sort of slow build up to him as a villain. But even from the first time we could tell this guy's a total psycho.
Yeah.
Like to the point where he kidnaps Theon Greyjoy, psychologically and physically tortures him,
cuts off his dick.
Season. Yeah, and then taunts him by showing the now memeable image of him
with
shaking a sausage in his face. Yep. And then from there, he just gets more and more just evil. Like, I can definitely see some people's problems with, like, maybe there were moments where they felt like he was just I mean, yeah, he's evil. Do you have to make him do shocking things to make him more evil? But like, the controversial kind of rape scene with Sansa Stark, even though that did happen in the books, but it was a different character. And also just like some of the violence and stuff like that. But I feel like it didn't really bother me too much, because, like, I guess, you didn't have to do more to show this character is evil. But if we know, like, truly evil people in real life, dictators and stuff like that, they would do this stuff like this all the time. It's not like they just do it once a year and that's about it. Yeah. They would do it every day.
Evil for one day a year, just like the Purge. Like, exactly. That's not how it works. No. Okay.
So basically, I think the show kind of did well. Of like, yeah, he did these horrible things, but we want to hate this character. The showrunners want us to make sure that this isn't like one of those villains who, like, who we could just love, even though they are evil, like, like Cersei or something like that. This is a truly evil villain that nobody should like.
Yeah.
And I think having those scenes is that purpose of showing those shocking things. And also he just did a great job throughout this whole series. And he just nailed that character. You just wanted to, like, go up to it and punch him in the face.
You wanted to cut his dick off, literally. Like, he did such a great job. And that is, I think that is one of the greatest villains, because he was despicable. And we had the epic showdown, which I think is still one of the best episodes of Game of Thrones, is the Battle of the Bastards.
Exactly. Probably one of the best battle scenes as well.
Really good stuff. Like, when he fucking dies, it is so satisfying.
Oh, yeah. And he goes out the way you would want that character to go out. So, now for my second one, my one's an interesting case, because he is a villain, but he's also a good guy.
Oh.
Depending what happens to him.
Is it Dr. Beck from Stalked by My Doctor series?
He could easily be this, because, it is TV movies, so he could. But actually, my character is Angel / Angelus from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ah.
I mean, as Angel's a good guy. He's an ally of Buffy, and of course becomes his boyfriend and all that. And he's
her boyfriend.
Yeah, well, they become lovers, you know.
No, but it sounded like you said Angel becomes his boyfriend, his girlfriend. I mean,
Buffy, I'm okay. Angel becomes Buffy's
there you
boyfriend.
go.
There we go.
You look like you were ready to punch my face in as if I was Ramsay Snow Bolton.
Exactly.
Jesus.
But no punching women. That's just not right. But anyways, but
Yes.
you know, as Angel, you know, he's a great character, an ally of Buffy, and also they become lovers as well.
There you go.
And you know, Angel's a great character. Like he's a very likable person, and you know, also David Boreanaz, who played him, also even added elements of humor to that character. And so he's like this brooding guy, but there's a lot of complexity to him. However, the reason for that is because he's a vampire with a soul. Now, when that soul is gone, which has happened quite a few times throughout the series, he becomes his true vampire version, which is Angelus. Now, throughout the series, like when Angel's introduced, we kind of hear like the backstory of the character that Angelus, as the evil angel, was like probably one of the most evilest vampires out there. This was a character who was a true personification of evil. Like he would kill anyone without a moment's hesitation. Men, women, children. He did not care who he killed. And he showed no mercy to anyone. Like he would just do it for fun, basically. And you hear these stories like build up throughout the show and you think, oh, like, and you know, it's not, how bad can this character be? But when there have been episodes when Angel actually has lost his soul and we do see Angelus, he pretty much lives up to that reputation. Like you see Angel doing the most horrible to sort of our main characters, even killing off establishing characters. This was a character who did not give a like to him, you were the lowest of forms to it. He basically was like the pre version of Omni-Man from Invincible. Like like he is just a truly evil character, and David Boreanaz plays that side of the character superbly. And also when you see flashbacks of Angelus, like what he was like throughout the centuries, like you just can't imagine how despicable of a character he can be. And you can also tell, like, once Angel actually got his soul, he was completely and utterly remorseful about all the things that he had done throughout the years. And, you know, and being that now he's basically dedicated his whole life to help people and to stop evil and that. But, yeah, but Angelus, he's a truly evil motherfucker. Pardon my French. So, even more evil than Ramsay Snow.
No, I think that's actually a really solid pick because, again, like, Angel was kind of the emo type character, but I think David Boreanaz had brought a lot to the table as Angel, because I think he was like a really layered character and he had a lot of charisma in that role. So a lot of people very much drawn to Angel, but then when you see that other side, it breaks your heart in a way because that's not what you want to see. And he plays it in such a way like, holy shit, that's a fucking villain right there.
Oh, yeah. And it's a total whiplash, like, the first time it happens, too. Because, like, they build up the build up Angel and his relationship with Buffy so well. And then once the first time we see Angelus happen, we're just so taken aback because, like, that's not the guy who we fell in love with throughout this whole show. And then, of course, you know, it just sort of escalates from there. And they did this, like, multiple times, not just on Buffy, but also on Angel's show as well. But I remember, wasn't there an episode, and I don't know if this, like, where Buffy, actually had to kill Angel at some point just to stop his reign.
I feel like that happened, but it's been so long since I've seen the show that I struggle to remember a lot of the episodes because I haven't really had like a rewatch in so long. But I feel like I remember that, so I'm pretty sure that happened. I'm sure there's lots of fans who'll be like, "You're remembering it wrong," blah blah blah. But I'm trying, okay.
Yeah, well, to be fair, especially on my part, I haven't seen the show since it finished.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people, like, unless it's something like easygoing, like The Simpsons or South Park, or even something like if I have to watch as part of like research for a podcast we're doing. Most of the time I'll watch a show and once it's finished, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't really go back to it. Unless I really want to, like years down the track. Like maybe at some point I'll definitely go back to watching Buffy at some point, because I'd be curious to see how I feel about it. You know, now 20 years since it's finished, and see if it holds up. But until then, like regardless, even I haven't seen it in nearly 20 years, the impact of that show is still with me. And also, like, I still very much remember those scenes with Vangelis and him as a character and how much of an evil bastard he was. So you don't forget stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you have two very, very fine picks for that, Bede.
Why, thank you.
Yes.
Yours were awesome too.
Thank you. I think because we picked, like, you know, very different, you know, because overall we talked about 4 like TV villains, like very different from very different shows. I think we definitely discussed like how different and what complexities, like, at least for us, that resonate with a TV villain. So yeah, I enjoyed this conversation immensely, and I hope everyone watching has enjoyed it as well. And please let us know your favorite TV villains, because we'd love to know those.
Exactly. Leave them in the comments section here of this video.
Yes.
And also, or anywhere you see this video at.
And thumbs up, subscribe.
Exactly. Thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, let us know what you think of our picks, but also your own picks as well.
Yeah, we'd definitely love to hear. And we'd like to thank the sponsor of our video, Surfshark VPN. The best, at least in my opinion, VPN out there, and definitely the cheapest. Such a good service. Highly recommend it. You can actually check out, if you get Surfshark, you can check out all the libraries on Tubi, and it's a goldmine of amazement. Incredible stuff. And because we're awesome, and well, thanks to Surfshark, we can actually offer you 81% off your 2-year subscription, which is a freaking phenomenal deal. So please go to surfshark.deals/supernetwork to take advantage of the offer, and we have the link in the description below.
Definitely take up that deal. I've been a customer of Surfshark's for a while now, and I pretty much vouch for their service. They're definitely one of the best out there, and also one of the most affordable as well.
Yeah, definitely one of the most affordable, and it's actually allowed me to get access to a few streaming services that some other VPNs seem to not do a good job with. So thanks, Surfshark. And with that said, I guess that's a wrap on this episode of Spin the Wheel Q&A with Marcey and Bede. Thank you, Bede.
Thank you, Marcey.
It was awesome. Always check us out at supermarcey.com, and all the awesome content here on our YouTube channel. We are blabbing on way too much, so I'll just leave you with this. Until next time, I've been super, Bede's been terrible, and if anyone's the real villain in this, it's me.
I think it's more Freddy in the background of the video.
He's my evil minion.
Exactly.
He does all the dirty work for me.
Exactly. But we'll see you all next time, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.